Hello and welcome to the viewers of this video. This is the Orange Fan here, bringing you another entry for the episode Recap and Thoughts category. This video will be dedicated to the FUNimation dub of episode 102 of Dragonball Super. We begin this episode with the Omni-Kings using their God Pads to scroll through the screens that show the teams that are participating in the Tournament of Power. These screens also show which fighters are still participating in the tournament and which fighters have been eliminated from the tournament. The screen for the Universe 6 team shows us, the viewers, the two fighters that were previously unaccounted for. Both of these fighters are Namekians. Meanwhile, we see Brienne de Chateau is looking at a pillar that was created when Kale went on her rampage in Super Saiyan Berserk form in episode 100, and she requests that two of her teammates join her at her current location. These two teammates are a brown-haired woman wearing a blue outfit, her name is revealed to be Sankaku, and a purple-haired woman wearing glasses, her name is revealed to be Sue Rose. Brienne de Chateau tells her two teammates that she thinks now is the time for them to show their true power. Elsewhere, we see Goku thanking Android 17 and Android 18 for their help with regards to fighting some members of the Pride Troopers in the previous episode. And after thanking the twins, Goku splits up from them so that he can go find Jiren. He's still determined to challenge Universe 11's most powerful mortal. Shortly afterwards, Brienne de Chateau, Sankaku, voiced by Morgan Berry, and Sue Rose, voiced by Christy Rothrock, are now standing on the pillar that they were looking at not too long ago, and they bring attention to themselves by calling out to the other fighters for their attention. Other characters from Universe 2 are aware of what the trio are planning, but characters from other universes are confused about what's going on. For those curious, supplementary material has given the trio two different group names. Some supplementary material calls the trio the Kamikaze Fireballs, while other supplementary material calls the trio the Maiden Squadron. So I suppose it's up to fans to decide which group name they wish to call the trio by. The Kamikaze Fireballs, or the Maiden Squadron if you prefer, announce their names and reveal that they are planning to transform. The trio begin their Sailor Moon-styled transformation sequence, but Android 17 interrupts it with a surprise energy blast. Android 17 points out that the trio left themselves wide open, but Goku complains about Android 17's pragmatism because Goku wants them to transform because he wants to fight them at full power. The trio run down to where Android 17 is so that they can join Goku in complaining towards Android 17. Even Top runs towards Android 17 so that he can jump on the complain to Android 17 bandwagon. So Android 17 begrudgingly agrees to let the transformation sequence occur without any interruptions. And Beerus is furious that Goku didn't eliminate these opponents from the tournament before they had the chance to become more powerful and thus harder to defeat. But Krillin admits that this is in character for Goku. So the transformation sequence is repeated, including the introduction, much to Beerus and Champa's annoyance, and it's now finished without any interruptions. Brienne de Chateau has transformed into Ribrianne. Sankaku has transformed into a blue humanoid cat. She calls herself Kakunsa now. And Sue Rose's transformation has given her teal-colored skin, and she's now wearing an outfit that sort of reminds me of a jester outfit. She calls herself Rosie now. Krillin admits that he thinks the trio looked cuter in their previous forms. Whis responds by mentioning the old saying about how beauty is in the eye of the beholder, and we do see other characters' reactions to the completed transformation sequence. So now that the transformation sequence is complete, the Kamikaze Fireballs, or the Maiden Squadron, launch an attack that looks like multiple hearts being launched towards opponents and the arena. When these hearts explode, they create a pink fog, and this pink fog puts some of the fighters in some sort of daze. The fighters from the 7th Universe team are some of the few fighters not affected by the pink fog. Frieza, in particular, comments along the lines about how he thinks the smell of the fog is revolting. Even Master Roshi, the fighter that Whis admits being the most worried about, is not affected by the pink fog. He credits Poir for the reason why he's immune to the pink fog. Roshi also comments along the lines about how they're running out of ground. So Gohan suggests to Piccolo, Tien, and Master Roshi that they now split up. Even though they were sticking to the teamwork plan before, Gohan thinks now is the time for them to split up and fight separately. So the 4 fighters wish each other luck before they split up to different parts of the arena. Jiren is also a fighter unaffected by the pink fog, and he's able to remove the pink fog from the arena with a single energy blast. Vegeta has transformed into Super Saiyan form, and he mocks this heart-themed attack from some of the fighters of the Universe 2 team. Ribrianne responds along the lines about how the real fight will begin soon enough. So Vegeta and Ribrianne begin to fight, but the fight doesn't last very long. Ribrianne performs an attack where she's rolling around the arena, and Vegeta actually decides to stop fighting Ribrianne afterwards. Vegeta has a grimace look on his face, and then he just goes off somewhere else. Vegeta admits to himself that he bailed out on that fight because of a wretched feeling, in his words. And Vegeta even says, "Ew, I never thought I would hear the Saiyan Prince say that." But in any case, Ribrianne's rolling attack does knock a fighter off the arena. This fighter is a humanoid pink alien from Universe 10. His name is revealed to be Dirasim, and he's voiced by Austin Tyndall. Ramouche is furious that another member of the Universe 10 team has been eliminated from the tournament. Meanwhile, we see Rosie is fighting Goku, and Universe 2's Destroyer reveals that Rosie has mastered a fighting style from Universe 2. If I'm not mistaken, I believe the fighting style is called Yachanaken. Yes, if I'm not mistaken, I believe the fighting style is called Yachanaken. And Universe 2's Destroyer explains that this fighting style allows punches to become stronger and sharper the more that the user of this fighting style attacks. So while that's going on, meanwhile, we do see that Kakunsa is fighting Android 17. Yes, we see that Kakunsa is fighting Android 17, and she manages to bite his arm. Universe 2's Destroyer reveals that Kakunsa is a beast warrior, which gives her a wild animal's instincts, and Kakunsa admits that she's attacking Android 17 because she's still angry at him for interrupting the transformation sequence. And Kakunsa is using the rubble of the ruined arena to her advantage. She's using the rubble to keep her footing, and she's launching a series of quick attacks towards Android 17. Universe 2's Destroyer reveals that Beast Warriors have great stamina. Eventually, though, Android 17 does manage to catch Kakunsa off guard, though. When Kakunsa is lunging towards Android 17, he activates his energy barrier to stop her in her tracks. And Android 17 comments that he has great stamina, too. Android 17 tries to knock Kakunsa off the arena, but a winged fighter or natural flyer from Universe 2 saves Kakunsa. I think she's supposed to resemble a harpy, but her name is revealed to be Piccolo, and she's voiced by Lauren Landa. So, yes, after Piccolo saves Kakunsa, Kakunsa launches a counterattack towards Android 17. Android 18 approaches her twin brother and offers to help him, but Android 17 assures his twin sister that he'll be okay. He admits that he got sloppy because he was thinking about the animals on the island while he was, Android 17 says he got sloppy because he was thinking about the animals on the island that he watches while he was fighting Kakunsa, but he says he's now planning to act serious. So first, Android 17 manages to attack Piccolo while she's distracted talking to Kakunsa, and he manages to knock Piccolo out of bounds. Universe 2's Angel Assistant, voiced by Austin Tyndall, also comments that Piccolo doesn't look like she's in a in any condition to continue fighting anyway. Kakunsa is furious that Android 17 eliminated Piccolo from the tournament, so she charges towards Android 17 with the intent of launching some very vicious attacks. Android 17 says he eliminated Piccolo first because the natural flyers or winged fighters are quite the annoyance for the other fighters. Ribrianne then arrives to offer help, but Kakunsa insists that Android 17 is her prey, so Ribrianne wishes Kakunsa the best of luck. Android 18 watches the fight for a while, but then she walks away after watching it a little while. Yes, after watching the fight a little while, Android 18 walks off somewhere else. And during the fight, Android 17 does jump in the air, and he actually lands on the artificial sun, or the item that's providing lighting for the tournament. He actually lands on this artificial sun or lighting item to keep his footing. Champa questions if that's even allowed, and the Omni Kings do approve of this. So Android 17, after that, Android 17 admits that he appreciated how his fight with Kakunsa has been very instructive, in his words. And then he blasts Kakunsa off the arena. Rosie stops her fight with Goku when she sees that Kakunsa is being eliminated from the tournament, and Goku compliments Android 17 for the power he just demonstrated. Goku admits that he doesn't remember Android 17 showing this power when they had their sparring match on the island, so Goku figures that Android 17 has a few secret tricks up his sleeve. Ribrianne is furious that Android 17 has eliminated Piccolo and Kakunsa from the tournament, and she's still angry about Android 17 interrupting the transformation sequence. And she's preparing to fight Android 17 while the narrator reveals that there are 39 minutes left in the Tournament of Power. And that is how we end this episode. So this episode gave Universe 2 a chance to shine. Members of the Universe 2 team got to demonstrate their abilities and skills in this episode. And I find that interesting. It's episode 102, and the Universe 2 team got to show some skills and abilities from some of its members. That may very well be a coincidence, I acknowledge, but I thought that was a pretty amusing coincidence all the same. And yes, I should bring this up. There was another natural flyer or winged fighter in the tournament. This natural flyer being from the Universe 2 team. So far, that's 4 natural flyers or winged fighters. 2 more than I initially thought. I was mistaken. I thought Universe 10 was the only team that had natural flyers and winged fighters, but we see in later episodes that there was a natural flyer on Universe 9's team, and there's a natural flyer on Universe 2's team. It makes you wonder why they only put attention on the Universe 10 winged fighters when they were talking about the winged fighters and didn't bring attention to those other fighters. But it does go to show that it's hard to keep track of 80 fighters at once. So, yes, that was a mistake on my part, but yeah, I mean, but we're willing, as long as we're willing to admit our mistakes, that's what's important at the end of the day. There's no never my fault mentality. I can definitely acknowledge when I've made mistakes, but I definitely find that curious why they didn't put attention on the other winged fighters besides the ones from Universe 10. But I digress. Besides the winged fighter from Universe 2, Piccolo, we get to see Brienne de Chateau, aka Ribrianne, some more. And we do get to see 2 of her teammates that share the same idea with her, being a reference to Sailor Moon with their Sailor Moon styled transformation sequence. And so we get to see 3 characters that reference the Sailor Moon transformation sequence. And while I'm thinking about it, yes, I believe I mentioned it in a previous recap and thoughts video. But yes, according to some interviews, it sounded like Brienne de Chateau, Ribrianne's civilian form, was actually created for the anime and not originally part of the character, not initially part of the character, but something that Toei Animation added to the character for the anime. And I believe that's the same case for Kakunsa and Rosie's civilian forms. I believe that's the same case for their civilian forms. Their civilian forms were just created for the anime and not initially part of the characters, but an addition by Toei or Toei Animation. It does go to show how Dragon Ball Super is more of a collaborative or team effort compared to Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z, where Akira Toriyama was mostly coming up with the story himself. Although Akira Toriyama still did have some influence from his editors, or Akira Toriyama did listen to some suggestions or advice from his editors, even if it was mostly him coming up with the story for Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z. But yeah, that was a little by-the-way detail I thought I should mention. Oh, and speaking of the Sailor Moon transformation sequence, speaking of the Sailor Moon references, the transformation sequence was one of those, and yeah, I have to admit, Android 17 interrupting the transformation sequence was hilarious, and it also is pragmatic. Usually there's a trope called transforming. Yes, there's a trope called transforming is a free action, but Android 17 didn't adhere to that trope, and it was pretty hilarious. Though, to be fair, this wouldn't be the first time that a character in the franchise tried to interrupt a transformation sequence. I remember Future Trunks tried to interrupt Cell's transformation into his perfect form, but it didn't work. Cell was able to, there was some kind of barrier protecting Cell while he was transforming or something along those lines. But yeah, this wouldn't be the first time a character tried to interrupt a transformation sequence in the franchise. But yeah, Android 17 actually pulled it off, but he unfortunately got a lot of complaints about that. Not just from the trio that he interrupted, but Top complained, and even Goku, his own teammate, complained. And yeah, Krillin, though, makes a good point. I mean, it is in character for Goku to... Yes, Goku does have a habit, one of Goku's flaws is that he does have a habit of following the honor before reason trope. And yeah, that can definitely be problematic. I mean, honor is good and all to have, but you shouldn't let it get in the way of reason. And yes, like Krillin admitted, this isn't the first time that Goku had let the honor before reason trope get the better of him. Some other examples I can think of are back in classic Dragon Ball in the Piccolo Jr. sub-saga, Goku still insisted on following the tournament rules during the final match of the 23rd World Martial Arts Tournament, even though Piccolo made it abundantly clear that he doesn't care about following the rules and he doesn't intend to follow the rules. So Goku pretty much handicapped himself for that fight. And Goku has demonstrated this in other ways. Goku gave Cell a senzu bean before Cell fought Gohan because he thought it wouldn't be a fair fight. And Goku also refused to fuse with Vegeta to fight Kid Buu because it wouldn't be a fair fight. And I suppose some fans would make the argument that Goku not stopping Dr. Gero from creating the androids could also count as an example of honor before reason. I mean, we know Goku wanted to fight the androids, I think you could make the argument that Goku not stopping Gero from creating the androids during the 3 years before the androids were supposed to arrive, I think you could argue that was an example of honor before reason too. But yes, Goku is guilty of following the honor before reason trope, and Krillin knew that pretty well. But even though some characters complained to Android 17 about how he was being pragmatic, Android 17 still got his chance to shine in this episode. He was able to eliminate 2 members of the Universe 2 team from the Tournament of Power. So Android 17 still got a decent showing, or a great performance. Yes, I would say this episode gave Android 17 a great performance. Now, so far, Master Roshi is doing well about not slipping back into his notable weakness, shall we say. And, Master Roshi didn't really slip into his notable weakness. Although I do remember some fans thinking that, who's to say that Roshi won't eventually, some fans are wondering if Roshi will eventually regress after the tournament is over. It might be a while before we get an answer about if Roshi does slip back into his notable weakness or not, but so far he hasn't during the tournament itself. So some fans were impressed by that. I remember hearing about that from some fans. And otherwise, oh yes, another big detail about this episode is the beginning. Yes, I like the beginning scene of this episode where the Omni-Kings were looking through the different screens for the different teams in the tournament on their God pads. That was a good way to help viewers see which fighters are from which team and which fighters are still participating in the tournament and which fighters are eliminated. The only fighters that aren't shown are the 2 secret fighters from the Universe 4 team. They're still a mystery for now. But otherwise, the other fighters were shown for each respective universe. And yes, I did like how we finally have clarification about the 2 other fighters from the Universe 6 team that we didn't see beforehand. And we find out that they're both Namekians. So yes, this kind of highlights again how Universe 6 and Universe 7 are twin universes to each other. Because the Saiyans are a prevalent species in both universes. Frieza and Frost are both prevalent individuals in their respective universes too. And now we know that there are 2 Namekians on the Universe 6 team. Most fans figured that Champa at least was probably impressed by Piccolo's performance during the Tournament of Destroyers. And maybe Fua and Vados were also impressed too. But yes, it's cool to see that there are Namekians. Yes, it's cool that we're going to learn about some Namekians from Universe 6, see what similarities and differences there are between the Namekians of Universe 6 and Universe 7, but that might be a while before we eventually cross that bridge. Otherwise, I guess the other big thing to mention is Ribrianne, aka Brienne de Chateau. I think I mentioned it before, but Ribrianne is apparently a base-breaking character. There are some fans that really don't like Ribrianne from what I've been hearing, and so far, I don't think the episodes that have been dubbed by Funimation so far have really shown why Ribrianne has a notorious reputation with some fans. Although I've seen some fans admit that they actually like Ribrianne more because Veronica Taylor is voicing her in the Funimation dub. This is actually similar to something that happened earlier in Dragonball Super. From what I understand, Duplicate Vegeta from the 3-parter, from the Duplicate Vegeta 3-parter, from what I understand, Duplicate Vegeta wasn't really a popular villain when he showed up when the sub airing of those episodes were around, but from what I understand, some fans admit that they actually like Duplicate Vegeta more now that through the Funimation dub, or yes, in the Funimation dub, Duplicate Vegeta is voiced by Brian Drummond, Vegeta's voice artist in the Ocean dub. So some fans admitted that they actually like Duplicate Vegeta after hearing Brian Drummond voice the character. So something similar seems to be happening for some fans, saying they actually like Ribrianne now that Veronica Taylor is voicing her in the Funimation dub. And so far, yeah, though, I don't think Ribrianne has really done anything so far that really has warranted the notorious reputation, but maybe later episodes will make it more clear why some fans don't particularly like Ribrianne. We'll just have to wait and see while we watch the Funimation dub of the future episodes. So otherwise, yeah, I would say that might be about it for this particular episode. So we got to see, Android 17 got to have a great showing in this episode. We get to see, more of Android 17 in action, and I think he gave a great performance in this episode. And of course, Chuck Huber gave a great performance voicing Android 17. And the Universe 2 team got a chance to shine too, with their characters inspired by Sailor Moon, and we do get to see another natural flyer or winged fighter from Universe 2. There's another winged fighter from the Tournament of Power, this one being from Universe 2, but Android 17 managed to easily knock her off of the arena. And otherwise, yeah, the other small tidbits there, like we get to see, we get a better look at the screens for the teams on the God pads, and we get clarification about how Universe 6 has 2 Namekians on their team for the Tournament of Power. But otherwise, Oh, and yeah, I think Veronica Taylor continues to give a great performance as Ribrianne or Brienne de Chateau. So, yeah, otherwise, I would say that's it for this episode. So, as of this video, we've now discussed the Funimation dub of episode 102 of Dragon Ball Super on this channel. Take care, and until next time,